Disclaimer! The following episode contains spoilers for Birds of Prey. Don't go crying to your mum if we spoil it for you. You've been warned. Who is it? What do you want? Go away!
Scott, your skills are required.
No, I don't do that anymore.
God damn it, Scott, you're the best there is. We need you.
I left all that behind me.
God damn it, Scott! The world is in chaos. Coronavirus, Australian bushfires, Trump impeachment, Brexit, a new series of Love Island. The world needs a podcaster to bring us all together.
I've left the world behind. I belong here, in this small cottage in the middle of nowhere, chopping wood and wearing flannel, with a beard.
God damn it, Scott! What could be so important that it keeps you from the podcast?
Darling, who is it?
It's nothing. Go back inside.
It's you! From a place to hang your cape! You're not taking him back!
God damn it, Scott, you have a family?
That's right. They're my priority now.
Daddy, are you going away?
No, sweetheart. I'm never going to leave you. Not ever.
God damn it, Scott. You don't know what you're giving up.
Yes, I do. A life of anger. A life of ranting. A life of pain. But I have a new life now. One of love and happiness. And nothing you can say will convince me to give that up.
There's a new DC movie out.
Let's roll.
Daddy, no!
Hello there, Capers, and welcome to Podcapers, the official podcast of a place to hang your cape. My name is Scott James Merridew, and this is the show where we talk about various geek and nerd-related topics, and are joined each week by a very special different guest. And yes, Capers, we're big, we're bad, and we're back, and better than ever. It's good to be back, and joining me is Alex Mirabal. How are you, Alex?
Hi, I'm good. Thank you for inviting me back.
It's not a problem. There's not a problem at all. We had a nice little break on Podcapers, but now we're back, and we're back with a bang because it's Birds of Prey! I was not looking forward to this.
Not a lot of people were.
Well, that's the thing. I say I wasn't looking forward to it in the same way that I don't look forward to the 23rd of April, because that means nothing to me. Like, what happens on the 23rd of April? Nothing. So, I wasn't not looking forward to it. I wasn't dreading the day, but it sort of snuck up on me. It was just like, oh yeah, Birds of Prey. I should probably go and see that. And then I did. And it was fucking awesome.
Yeah, that's been the opposite of my experience. Not the awesome part. It is very awesome. I adore it. I had like a countdown timer. I was so excited for this movie.
Only 3 more days. Only 3 more days.
Yeah, when they announced it, when there was teaser, when there was the trailers, the soundtrack. I've been listening to the soundtrack all fucking week. It's so good.
It's a great soundtrack. I mean, some of the song choices are a bit weird. Like, there's one song that I recognized immediately. It's called Sway With Me, and it's like a techno remix sort of thing of the song from that's sung by Jennifer Connelly, or at least a voice double, in the film Dark City.
Right. In the soundtrack, it's I think it's Saweetie and Galaxara is who does that, and that's it's a very fun song on the soundtrack, and the music video has like they're in the car and Cassandra's also in there. Yeah. So they got the actress to sit with them and hang out. It's really
that's also I do prefer, like, it's a good song. I prefer the originals because I love that song and also that movie so much. When marimba music starts to play, song sway with me. Like, it's a just cool song, which is befitting because it's a cool movie. And I think so I think
we... So the Diamonds remix, too. There's the Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
By Megan Thee Stallion and Normani. That's good. That's so good.
Oh god, like I think it's safe to say at this point that DCEU has turned a corner, because before it was all crap, shut up it was, and then I guess Aquaman happened, or Wonder Woman happened, or something happened, and suddenly they got their shit together and they thought, okay, let's just do some things that we haven't really done before, and let's, I don't know, do them, what's that word we're looking for? Well? Let's do it well. Let's do it well. Let's not give everything to Zack Snyder, even though he has earned nothing. Let's maybe give it to some lesser-known people who've done some other things, and maybe have a good chance to broaden their horizons. Maybe let's give it to a really good up-and-coming female director, Kathy Yan.
And writer.
Let's give it to a great English screenwriter, Christina Hodson, who wrote the screenplay for the Bumblebee movie, which I fucking love.
And is writing Batgirl.
Take that, Joss Whedon.
Oh, yeah. Joss was like, oh, they're just not going to do the movie without me. And then they announced Christina Hudson was writing it.
Oh, like Josh, I don't know. I love you, but you got it wrong. Oh, yeah. God. And so,
I think consistently, I think maybe Shazam and Aquaman were the only two DC movies where I didn't get all in on the soundtrack. I don't think they had particularly interesting soundtracks, but
they didn't need them.
Yeah, this movie, I think Batman vs Superman, Man of Steel, Justice League, when the songs that they kept from Junkie XL because they did fire him, and replaced him with Danny Elfman, who just was doing.
Oh my God! They don't like a movies. They don't like a movies. We need to put everything that people know, we know people loves in a movies. What do people love that's associated with DC? I don't know, Danny Elfman. Put him in the movie. But he doesn't really fit. Do it anyway.
Yeah, it's like he just plays his Batman theme 15 times, and then he plays the John Williams Superman theme once. And it's like, yes, we know. Okay, thank you. We know it. Junkie XL would have done a way better job. He did a great job with Hans Zimmer in Batman vs Superman, and I'm still salty about it. But I think Hans Zimmer is doing Wonder Woman 84.
Oh yeah,
super excited about. Selena, do not step on my laptop.
Selena being your cat. You know what? When we're done here, you won't hear this, Capers, but when we're done here, I've got to get my parents' dog in here so you can properly say hello to Pepper.
Yay!
Yeah, Pepper the dog. She's lovely. That's what I've been doing, Capers, on my off time. In between, the last episode and this, I've just been walking that dog. That's all I've been doing and seeing Birds of Prey. And here's the thing. I feel like Birds of Prey is the sort of pseudo apology note for Suicide Squad before the actual apology note for Suicide Squad, the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I mean it's interesting. I'm interested in seeing how they what's going on with that movie, because it does have a lot of the original cast of Suicide Squad.
Yeah,
and it's technically not a reboot; it's a sequel to that movie.
It's the movie that they should have made from the beginning, because it was so clear. It was so clear. This isn't just going to be a big diatribe on Suicide Squad, because we've done that on the show before. But it's so clear. They wanted to make Guardians of the Galaxy, which is stupid, because Suicide Squad, if you know anything about the comics, is nothing like Guardians of the Galaxy, and to make it like Guardians of the Galaxy would just be stupid. But that was the movie they wanted to make, and they tried it, but it didn't work, and it didn't fit, and they got all the wrong people to do it. And so it was just like, okay, we want to make this square peg fit in this round hole, but we can't do that, so what we're going to do is we're going to make the square peg fit in this triangular hole, and that will solve everything, except it didn't.
I mean, the movie went through a lot of re-edits, because the first...
Re-edits, reshoots, rewrites.
The first trailer did so well, they just hired the trailer company to edit the movie, which is just the worst thing you could possibly do. And,
okay, so you did a really good job painting our sign for our local business in this small village. How about for your next project, you paint the roof of the Sistine fucking Chapel?
Yeah, and I mean, I'm sure, I don't think David Ayer was qualified to direct this movie. It's not his type of movie.
Good director. Very good director. Not qualified at all. You're absolutely right.
And that's the reason why Margot Robbie kept turning down projects after this. That she wanted to keep doing Harley. They wanted her to keep doing Harley since she was the breakout character from Suicide Squad. And she kept saying no because they kept saying, we'll give you anything, but it has to be directed by David Ayer. And she kept saying no. She said no to Gotham City Sirens, which I think would have been a fucking awesome movie. But because it was being directed by David Ayer. Surprisingly enough, David Ayer is a producer on this movie.
And you know who else is? Margot Robbie.
Yeah, the whole reason why she wanted Birds of Prey specifically is because when she started reading the comics with Harley, she kind of branched out into other comics. She started reading Birds of Prey, and she fell in love with Huntress. Helena Bartonelli is her favorite character, and so she just wanted to make a movie so she could put Helena Bartonelli in it, which is why they're gushing over her the entire movie.
Well, I've got some things to say about that, actually, but, oh, God, so there's so much I want to talk about. So, let's just start talking about the goddamn movie at fucking last. Now, here, okay, so I have to start with a bit of a negative, it's not really a negative criticism, but it's a thing that I've noticed. This movie is called Birds of Prey, or Birds of Prey and the Fantabulous Emancipation of One Harley Quinn, which is a fucking awesome title. However, it does lead me to suggest that this isn't really a Birds of Prey movie, it's a Harley Quinn movie featuring the Birds of Prey.
Oh yeah, it's an origin story for the Birds of Prey, and like it's made very explicit at the end of the movie that that's what that was. I just don't think you could have like, I think that was like Margot's idea. Like she couldn't sell just a Harley Quinn movie that's also an origin story of the Birds of Prey. She had to sell that this is a Birds of Prey
that's
movie.
the thing. Why even make both? Why not just do one or the other? If you want to do a Harley Quinn movie, do a Harley Quinn movie. If you want to do a Birds of Prey movie, do a Birds of Prey movie.
I don't think a Birds of Prey movie would have sold without Harley.
That's a point. And here's the thing. I say that I don't like that aspect, but here's the thing. It did work out well. Let's not pretend otherwise. Yeah. So, we start off with Harley Quinn giving us a nice animated recap of her life so far. You know, getting kicked out by her abusive father, going to basically an orphanage run by nuns, trying to attach herself to various people romantically. And is there... Ooh, did I just spot a little possible reference to the fact that Harley Quinn is gay?
Oh yeah, there's a woman in that. Like the first 5 minutes, Harley's confirmed as bisexual, and it's.
That's too subtle for my liking. It's too subtle for my liking.
I mean, shit. Like Margot has said, like I hope that the next, because if this movie does as well as it absolutely should, there's probably going to be either or both a Birds of Prey sequel and a Harley sequel. And I'm hoping the Harley sequel is Gotham City Sirens, because Margot has talked about wanting to get
So that's
Ivy
where she teams up with
involved.
Catwoman and Poison Ivy, right?
Oh, yeah. And, I mean, it would have to be after the Batman, because you'd have to see how Zoe does as Catwoman, which I am so fucking excited for.
Kind of... You know what? Don't like Batman, but I'm kind of excited for that as well. I view that movie, the eponymous The Batman, as a fresh start... Clean slate. Let's be clever with this. Let's be creative. Robert Pattinson, I'm not a big fan of his, but I will acknowledge he's a good actor, capable of giving out good performances. I'm worried that they picked him just because he's popular, but let's not get into that.
He's not popular anymore.
But he's well known. He's brand recognitionable. You know? I
guess, but it's like he hasn't done anything that hasn't been indie in so long.
True.
That it's like, I don't know.
Honestly,
the supporting cast is, I think, more recognizable than
Jonah
him.
Hill's the Riddler, right?
No, he dropped out. It's Paul Dano.
But
Colin, is it Colin Firth or Colin Farrell is the Penguin?
Colin Farrell.
I get them confused a lot. Colin Farrell is the Penguin.
He looks like the opposite of the Penguin. I can't see Colin Farrell going like, oh, hey there, lassie. Wah, 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 wah.
I mean, Robin Lord Taylor only had the face for it and still did a good job.
Yeah.
And Andy Serkis is Alfred.
Oh yeah. Oh god. Okay, so. We're getting sidetracked.
Right.
So, picks up after that. So we get a nice animated recap of Harley's life, her meeting the Joker, and then she says, "Oh yeah, but you know what? I was done with the Joker. I left him." Immediately cue live action Harley getting kicked out by the Joker.
Yeah, she's like sobbing and hitting the door, and
you know, Okay, so two things. First of all, is that not Jared Leto? I don't see.
Yeah, there's like one scene where you can maybe see the back of his head that is a new shot that isn't from Suicide Squad, because they do show scenes from Suicide Squad. But yeah, it's definitely a body double.
Yeah.
But this movie says fuck Jared Leto in particular, which I appreciate.
Fuck David Ayers, fuck the Suicide Squad, fuck Jared Leto in particular. Because, because good actor, fucking awful, and I'm not getting sidetracked. Moving on. But here's the thing. I think this was brilliant because it would have been so easy for them to make Harley Quinn 100% Iron Woman, hear me roar. I'm better off now that I don't have the Joker. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing. It would also have been easy for them to make her just complete and utter sad sack. Just completely pathetic until right at the very end where she finally does get her emancipation. They're actually much smarter about it, though. Mm-hmm. They straddle the line between the two, between awesome Harley and pathetic Harley. And my perspective, my inference was that the only parts of Harley that were pathetic, that were a sad sack, as it were, was any of the parts of her that was connected still to the Joker, that held on to the Joker. The parts of herself that were independent of the Joker, that was her seizing life by the testicles and doing whatever she wanted, that was Harley, independent Harley, and was awesome Harley. Yeah. And it showed, I think the
she's
writer,
a human in this movie.
That she's fucking human, and just also just they got the character and it was the perfect role. They didn't make her flawless and just 100% badass, nor did they make her like just another victim. They made her, as you say, human, and that's brilliant. Not just in terms of the writing, but also in terms of the visuals. I saw something on Facebook the other day that rather intrigued me. I'm not going to pretend like I'm coming up with this, but I did see this. So you may have seen this. A person on, I think it was Twitter, called Joanna Robinson, basically said, I can't always exactly explain the difference between the male and female gaze, but I do know it when I see it. And underneath, she's got a picture of Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad, and then right next to it, a picture of Margot Robbie, Harley Quinn in Birds of Prey. And you can tell the difference immediately. Like, that's something that's always fascinating.
There was a lot of posts on Twitter from, like, angry men that were like, there was one about Mary Elizabeth Winstead where they said they just told her not to be hot. And it's like, are you fucking kidding me? She's like strapped in leather. She has a crossbow. If that's not hot, then I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. She's just not uber sexualized.
She's not, doesn't conform to your narrow pigeonhole idea of what is sexy. Yeah. And here's the thing. All the characters in this movie, well, most of the characters, I would say.
Yeah, not Cassie.
Yeah, are sexy incidentally. They are sexy, but that's not who they are. Some of them dress in alluring.
Black Canary is wearing a tank top, like a crop top, the entire movie, and you don't notice.
Yeah, well, I'll be honest. I noticed, but I didn't care. I didn't care because it wasn't important.
It's not like, like the scene in Suicide Squad where it's like panning up her body as she's getting dressed.
Oh, you say that. Okay, so here's the thing. After that little tweet, there's a bunch of people who've done, like, I think it was on Tumblr or something, I don't know. They've done a list of the reasons why it's different between these two movies based on these two pictures. It's different to talk about on a podcast, but here we go. Number one, the pigtails aren't long enough to pull on anymore. It's a subtle thing, but it's very interesting because she cuts off her hair in the movie, and it's really cool. Yeah. Number two, her bangs, fringe in the UK, are more choppy and fun rather than seductively framing her face. Number three, her boobs, direct quote, her boobs aren't half a foot off her ribcage, brackets, I'm guessing they made her wear a padded bra in Suicide Squad. Bit of a guess, but you're not wrong. 4.
Yeah, I don't think Margot Robbie is that much of a classically busty person, and so they gave her like a push-up.
Okay, so here's the thing. This is exclusively an American thing. It's Hollywood, but it's an American thing. Because here's the thing. A while ago, there was a movie that came out called King Arthur. It was a retelling of the classic Arthurian legend, placing it in an realistic, or naturalistic rather, historical context. They were like Sarmatian knights defending Roman Britain from Anglo-Saxon invaders. Clive Owen was in it. Iwan Horatio Hornblower, Mr. Fantastic was in it, and also as Guinevere, who was remade as sort of like a pagan warrior badass person, was played by Keira Knightley. Keira Knightley, not a lot going on in the testicle region. She's fine with that. She's proud of that, as well she should be. I don't really care one way or the other. However, the people making the movie cared, so in the promotional material of the movie, they photoshopped her chest to make it bigger.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Which is fucking awful. Like, it's one thing to slightly airbrush someone for a poster, or to, digitally alter their face to make them look like an octopus squid man if they're playing an alien or something. But you can't alter someone's body like that, especially without their permission. I don't know if she gave permission or not.
It's a huge problem in the U.S. It's just something that people have been, women especially, female models have been trying to push back against.
First of all, the kind of person who would care about that sort of thing, i.e., straight men, are not going to care because it's Keira Knightley. No one's going to say, ugh, Keira Knightley. So, who are you doing for? It's just for Hollywood producers' own insecurity. They think if they put a poster of a small-chested woman to sell the movie, that it's not going to sell the movie, which is fucking stupid and sexist and just plain wrong. Yeah. Well, thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Number 4 on that list I was going on. Her skimpy clothing looks more like a choice rather than the tired, quote, woman's clothes strategically ripped trope. Very interesting.
Well, it's even, Suicide Squad, I feel like it's even worse because they give her those clothes. It's not clothes that she owns. It's not her clothes. It's clothes that the government has given her. Yeah.
Here is your uniform. You get a nice bit of big, you, Mr. Hitman person, you get a nice cool white mask and a cool, red and black body armor. Well, Mr. Boomerang guy, you get a cool trench coat.
She even, she opens the box, her suit's in there. Her classic suit's in there, and she throws it away because she, I don't know, whatever.
Because DC hated us back then. Because they hated us. And number 5, she's not wearing a dog collar. Remember that? Here's the thing. That could have been really symbolic in Suicide Squad if at the end they did what they should have done, which have her reject the Joker because it is an abusive relationship. What don't you get about that? Mm-hmm. And you had her tear off the dog collar. That would have been really symbolic and cool. But no, it was just someone thought, that's a great fashion choice. That's a really good choice for this super villain person.
Well, she did get rid of it because it came off of her neck. It said puddin' on it when she thought he died, and then she threw it on the ground. So she's not wearing it at the end of the movie.
Out of sadness, not of rejection.
Not of rejection, yeah. And to point out, she is actually wearing a dog collar in this movie, but not the same way. It's a necklace that just so happens to have a dog tag on it.
Yeah. And again, it feels like that's a choice by her. In fact, we know it's a choice by her because we know she's been out on her own except for the Joker. So she chose that for herself. It's agency. That's all it is. And then there's the last one. There's number 6. On those 2 pictures that I mentioned, one from Suicide Squad, one from Birds of Prey. Number 6 is the camera is centered on her face, not her chest. If you look at those 2 pictures, which obviously can't do in the podcast, you can clearly see where the camera is focused on, what it's trying to sell. Birds of Prey trying to sell Margot Robbie's face, the most expressive part of her, and Suicide Squad is focusing on her breasts, which, no. Breasts aren't that expressive.
Yeah.
Unless you're someone like Terry Crews or The Rock that you can make them jiggle. No, it's not the same. It's not the same. So, yeah, that's the whole thing with her. Because, again, this was directed by a woman. And so, the reason why I brought this up was because the idea, stylistically, cinematography-wise, of the male and female gaze has always fascinated me for a while. Because I try to be aware, at the very least, of my privilege. I try to be aware of things like that, and it's difficult for me to discern because of my privilege. And stuff like that, posts like that, people pointing that out, even though that is 100% not women's obligation to do so. I want to make that very clear. It's prerogative, not obligation. I find, as a man, very helpful. So thank you to the people who sent out that tweet. Thank you to the people who commented on that, because you educated me in something I really wanted to know more about. And I hope more people, just by watching this movie, are also similarly educated in how you frame women was in certain context in certain films.
I think that Suicide Squad is the only film to do it egregiously in DC. Aquaman doesn't do it for Mira, though she is wearing, a tight outfit the entire movie. I don't even think Justice League does it. I mean, granted, no, Justice League absolutely does it. Sorry, Justice League does it in the parts that Joss Whedon shot. Because they have...
Oh dear, the Flash film on Wonder Woman's boobs!
I forgot about that. But no, Batman vs. Superman and Man of Steel both have male-gazy shots, but for Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill. They're naked in the shower and shirtless, and it's panning up. We get to see Ben Affleck ass. And I'm like, all right, cool. We're doing this now.
That is Gotham's ass. Yeah. But so Harley is now, she's off, she's on her own, reluctantly, but she's now independent. She gets her own apartment, where she cuts her hair, she does her new clothes, and she adopts a hyena. Yay. Ooh, when's she gonna get the second one? Oh, it's just the one. It's not Bud and Lou?
She can't. I don't think they could have done 2 hyenas. That one's already very obviously CG, and they got a budget they gotta keep. This is not a high budget movie. That's why he's not in a good chunk of this movie.
Yeah, you think, she's going to use the hyena in a fight scene. No. She does not.
I mean, I would...
Like she uses the hyenas more in the video game Injustice 2 than she does in this movie.
Right, thinking about, this Harley, this hyena's her pet. She's not gonna bring him to the battlefield.
Side note, Americans, I know there's some of you watching this movie thinking, ooh, I'd like a hyena.
No.
Don't. Their bite is one of the most powerful in the entire animal kingdom. No, don't. Yeah. I see you thinking about it. Don't you
she's at this, illegal animal place, and the guy, tries to say, he will trade the hyena for sex, and she has him eat her, or eat the guy. She has the hyena eat him. So...
Yeah. Also, side note, I don't saying this is what that guy was thinking, but if you know who Harley Quinn is, and you know that she's a psychopathic former henchwoman for the Joker, maybe don't hit on her.
Yeah.
How horny do you have to be to think, oh, I bet she'd really appreciate that kind of thing?
And as far as he knew at that point, and as anyone knew outside of Harley in the plot so far, she wasn't broken up with Joker yet. She was still telling people that they were together.
Death wish, much. God. And this is where we get to not a problem in the movie, but something that I deem wholly unnecessary. That is to say, lots of stylistic backtracking, rewinding, and looking at the same thing from different perspectives.
I like it.
I mean, you're allowed to like it. It's not bad. So basically, we start off with Harley, and then she says... We see someone else breeze into the movie, and she's like, oh, gee, I forgot about him. Let's backtrack a couple of bits. And then we go and see who that person is and how they fit into the story. And it's fine. It's fine. I feel like it wasn't needed. I think it's just padding out the runtime just a little bit. Sorry?
I don't think so. I think it's Harley's the narrator for this one. She's notoriously unreliable. She's gonna forget shit, and she's gonna be like, oh god, we gotta go back and hold on, I'm sorry. That's just that. I feel like that's very in character for Harley.
That's a good point. Yeah, I feel, so in that regard it works. It's just it feels a little bit scattershot to me, but you know what, Harley is scattershot, so it's fine. It's absolutely fine. And so Harley Quinn is getting hobbies, she's meeting new people, she's getting away with all kinds of shit because people think that she's still attached to the Joker, as you said. And she's
jumping on legs and breaking them.
Oh, God, yeah. So she purposefully perpetuates the idea that she's still with the Joker because otherwise everyone's too afraid to do anything to her, even though everyone finds her really annoying, which I love. I think that's just funny. And they all suck up to her, including this one guy, Roman Sionis. I'm in a very unruly mood today. I don't know why. Also known as Black Mask, played by Ewan McGregor. Now, I think we can all agree we love Ewan McGregor. You love Ewan McGregor, right?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I love Ewan McGregor. He's Scotland's most favourite son. And this movie made me hate him. Not hate him.
Like he's a bad dude.
Oh yeah,
Okay.
oh yeah, completely and utterly. Because he plays such a bastard, and he does it so well. It's a testament to him as an actor because he does so. At first, he just appears to be a kind of sleazy, smarmy bit of a dick. As the movie gets on, he becomes progressively more and more of a bastard until you can't wait for the moment where he is dead.
Yeah. Oh my God, him and Zaz are so fucking good. Someone pointed out on Twitter, I think, that Ian is doing what Jared Leto thought he was doing.
Ewan McGregor. I know Scottish names are hard for some Americans, but try and pay attention.
Whatever. I got it. I got there.
Ian. Fucking Ewan McGregor. Right, so... Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. These two guys, it's Chris, what's his name from the Mindy Project? Messini?
Where is it? Oh yeah, Messina.
Yeah. They both play absolute bastards. We've seen Victor Zsasz before on TV shows and stuff, and he's always been kind of a creepy dude. Chris Messina, I think, dials down the creepiness to make him much more human, which makes him much more creepy. It's actually a really good point.
But he's the only live action Zsasz I have ever seen that actually does Zsasz. Like, he has all the scars.
I think we briefly saw it in the Batman Begins movie, but maybe I'm wrong.
Right, but Zsasz is such a minor character in that movie that I forget that he's in it.
Yeah.
But like Gotham, he's just a normal
throwaway
assassin who's God, what is it called? Albino. He's an albino assassin. Ooh, so cool.
No. He's got alopecia, or I can't remember what it's called, but he's played by that guy from Barry, who's really great.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's a great character, but he's not Zsasz.
No, he's not really Zsasz. Here, he's Zsasz. Because there may be a different kind of Zsasz from the comics, but he's still a really great Zsasz. And we first see him, and first see Roman, I think I remember, when they're basically they're killing this guy and his family and his wife and kid by cutting off their faces. You don't quite see it,
it's bad,
but it happens, and it's weird. And then he's just like, Roman's just like, you know what, I think we got the message across. Like, little girl, like, we're not going to kill you. It's fine. You can go off. He's like, oh, God, thank you. Ugh, snot bubble. Never mind. Kill her anyway. And it's just, oh, my God, really?
There's a great thread on Twitter that someone made, which I could remember her name, but she broke down that scene. It's like, this movie is not super subtle when it comes to its messaging, but that scene is very much like, women have to look pretty and look sexy and look perfect, even when, you know, their family is murdered in front of them and they're sobbing. Otherwise, they're not pretty enough to be nobly saved.
Yeah, and that's interesting in terms of the subtext, but it's also interesting for his character because the man is unequivocally a misogynist. The movie is not shy about, and it becomes more and more apparent as it goes on, and we'll talk about that in a bit later.
Yeah. I mean, every single woman he runs into, he says is his.
Oh, yeah, he's like,
she's mine. She's, you know, go get her. She's
very
mine.
possessive, very objectifying, and it gets less and less subtle as it goes on. So that's Roman. Yeah. He's the big bad for this evening. And Harley, as you said, he jumps on his driver's legs, crippling him. And he's like, oh, Harley, I'm so sorry about the confusion and everything. Don't worry, I'm going to get a new driver. I needed a new driver anyway. It's fine. and he chooses as his new driver the singer in his club, Dinah Lance, played by Journey Smollett-Bell. Is that right?
Yes.
And
she was in Friday Night Lights, which no one remembers but like me and my family, because we really liked Friday Night Lights.
I remember it. I never saw it, but I remember it.
It's very good. It's a very good show. It's like the only show about the South that's like worth watching.
I'm sorry, but as she was also in True Blood, I fear I must object.
What's it? True Blood's about the South? I didn't know that. I haven't
Well, it's not about the South, but it's set in the South of America.
Right, but like it's not like about like Friday Night Lights is about football culture in Texas. That's a little bit more the South.
That's probably why I couldn't get into it. But anyway.
Right.
Yeah. So I can't even get into actual football here in England. What makes you think I'm going to be getting into American football? Or as I like to call it, the Concussion Bowl. Anyway.
Right. Well, that show has a lot of like really good people come out of it. Michael B. Jordan was actually played her boyfriend.
Oh wow.
Yeah. So they started together.
Killmonger and Black Canary used to date. Wow.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. This is Black Canary, and as far as I'm aware, this is the first person of color to play Black Canary.
Yes. I don't think she's ever been a person of color in the comics. Which is interesting. She's been trans in Bombshells, but she's never been a woman of color, and that's it's super cool to see that. And Gail Simone had a thread where she just gushed about Journey. So this is Dinah Lance. Like it's been like. Because the CW, I don't know what the fuck they were doing with Dinah. Because there's like 18
They were making
Dinahs.
It up with every season.
Yeah, there's like 18 different Dinahs, and they're all not like Black Canary Dinah Lance. And no one who liked Black Canary ever liked any of those characters. So like, they were just kind of
We're not going to call her Dinah Lance. We're going to call her Laurel Lance.
And then there's Dinah Drake, and then just Laurel Dinah Lance. And then there's Mia. And then it's like, what? Just pick. Fucking please, just pick a person.
I don't know. And and then there's White Canary, which oddly enough had more staying power.
There's Sarah Lance, and I fucking adore Sarah. Anyway.
I'm going to have sex with everyone in the space-time continuum, space-time continuum, space-time continuum.
Yeah, that's Sarah, and now John, I think, is doing that.
I'm gonna have sex with everyone in the magic world, everyone in the magic world. And so, oh god, and so yeah, we meet Dinah, and she's fucking awesome. She's a great singer. They foreshadow her sonic voice powers with the glass shattering, but they don't really do anything more of it than that.
I mean, this like technically all of this doesn't happen yet in the movie. It is very like this movie because it's so out of order. This happens like 30 minutes into the movie after like Harley does some stuff, and then we're introduced to Renee, and then we backtrack. She does like the cop thing, and then we backtrack because Dinah's calling.
We're skipping over all of that. We're just going to go through things chronologically as best as we can to make things easy for you, because here at Podcapers we care about you. And so that's Dinah. That's one of the I didn't say Suicide Squad, Birds of Prey. And so Roman then says, hey, you're going to be my new driver. And she's like, I don't want to, but you're fucking scary, so okay. And then
Dinah is also the only original member of the original Birds of Prey in this movie.
Oh yeah, because it was
Oracle, Huntress as Helena Wayne, and Black Canary, and Lady Blackhawk.
Oh yeah, okay, yeah. So I have read Birds of Prey, but I did not know that she was Helena Wayne.
The new team is Helena Bertinelli, Dinah Lance, and Barbara Gordon. So it's just the three of them
as Batgirl.
As Batgirl, yeah, and she kind of also does Oracle stuff again.
That's I think the series is called Batgirl and the Birds of Prey. Because bats aren't a bird. But anyway.
I mean, Huntress? Like, that's not a bird. The only one who's been a bird was Lady Blackhawk and Black Canary.
Yeah, that's true. And so then we meet Gotham City police detective Renee Montoya, a name that has constantly popped up in my peripheral vision, but I've never really latched on. I know at one point she was The Question, because I like The Question.
She's an animated series original, like Harley.
Ah, right, okay. And she's played by Rosie Perez, who I only know from The Road to El Dorado.
You've seen a lot of stuff, but yeah, Road to El Dorado is like my number one for her.
I love that movie. Shell is fucking awesome.
Perfect.
Should have called it Shell Dorado.
And she's Renee is also a notorious ex-girlfriend of Batwoman.
Oh,
it's like
I think I did know
Maggie
that.
Sawyer and Renee Montoya are like the two big girlfriends for her.
I watched about 3 episodes of the new Batwoman TV show, and I got bored.
Yeah, neither of them are in it. Neither, because Maggie Sawyer already appeared in Supergirl, and I don't think they could get the rights to Renee Montoya because she was in this movie. So neither of them are in the Batgirl series or Batwoman series.
Doesn't matter because I don't care.
Yeah, it's not a good show.
And she's immediately shown to be like a bit of a stereotype cop, like from the 80s. Well, I say shown. We're told that she's a stereotype cop from the 80s. I didn't really see that.
Oh, I
that
see.
Much.
It's mostly like the stuff that she says she's really intense when she doesn't need to be.
Maybe.
And she falls into a lot of the tropes. She's an alcoholic. She has to give up her kind of bitch. Yeah. That's pretty explicit in this movie. She doesn't drink that much on screen, but when it happens a little bit later when she runs into her ex. It's like, why don't you just start drinking? It's already 12. You're kind of late.
Oh yeah, her girlfriend, her ex, is played, by the way, by Ali Wong. Awesome.
Who's 20 years younger than Rosie Perez.
Really? I am getting...
Yes!
It is hard for me to grasp people's ages in this movie.
Rosie Perez is 55, and
Shit.
Ali Wong is 34.
Well, you know what? Love, age is just a number. Love doesn't know no age, and I didn't even know that to begin with, so great for Rosie Perez.
Yeah.
But here's the thing with Renee Montoya. She's surrounded by a bunch of incompetent, corrupt police officers. Of course she is, because she's in the fucking Gotham Police Department. There are only like 2 good police officers, and one of them is the commissioner. / maybe on a good day, Harvey Bullock, if he's feeling, if he's had something to eat.
Yeah, and they do a good job of not mentioning the commissioner because they don't know who it is. Which one? It's either J.K. Simmons or it's what the hell is his name? The guy from the guy's who's going to be Commissioner Gordon, the Batman. Like,
I don't know.
There's 2 different Commissioner Gordons in the DC universe.
J.K. Simmons defected back to Marvel. What do we do?
Yeah, and it can't be J.K. Simmons anymore. And you can't even show Barbara because they don't know what race she is. She's either white or she's black. So like,
oh god,
they need to figure that whole shit out.
Yeah, it's like, why is anyone a good police officer in Gotham? Just like, oh, so you're all corrupt.
Yeah.
I'm out. I'm moving to Metropolis. Everything's fine there. We don't have to do anything in Metropolis. Superman does everything. Like, maybe we have to stop someone from littering every once in a while, but he'll usually show up to give them a good talking to once we're done with them.
Right.
It's fucking easy, but anyway. And so... it turns out her boss used to be her partner, but he basically took credit for a big bust that she actually solved and is now her boss. It's just like, oh god.
And her ex-girlfriend is like an ADA.
Yeah. It's oh god. And okay, so she's investigating a bunch of mob killings, a bunch of mob people killed by a person with a bow and arrow. It's not a bow and arrow, it's a crossbow.
Crossbow killer.
Oh god, we're gonna get into her in a bit. And whenever I see a bow and arrow killing, whenever I see that, because I see that so often in my personal life.
Yeah.
If I was a police officer and I saw that, I really think, well, Green Arrow's gone off the deep end because who knows what he's gonna do with it.
Green Arrow doesn't exist in this universe yet, though, and I don't think he ever will. So that leaves Dinah open for being a lesbian, and I'm all for it.
Sort your agenda out, Alex. And so she's investigating for things, and then Harley Quinn, meanwhile, strolls by and sees the Ace Chemical plant where she was first turned into Harley Quinn by the Joker, the culmination of his torture and psychological abuse of her. And she's like, you know what? I've got to be done with the Joker. So I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to destroy our place by driving a fuel tanker into it and blowing it the fuck up. I mean, it's basically the incendiary equivalent of a breakup text. It's very good.
And there's a
You
great
know what?
song-
I don't need you. I was better than you. I don't deserve you. But, you know, with a big boom.
Yeah, and there's a great song to go along with it.
What's the song?
It's "Jokes on You." I can't remember the name of the artist, but it's a Charlotte Lawrence, and it's 100% like. And now I'm crying through my tears. I'm crying through my fear. But baby, if I had to choose, the joke's on you. I lied for you, and I liked it too. But my makeup's ruined. Like it's just all about like I was in a shitty ass relationship. But you know what? Fuck you.
Also known as the entirety of 50% of Taylor Swift's discography. But anyway, and so they all rush over there to see what's going on after the explosion. Harley Quinn's already cheesed it, and Renee Montoya finds Harley's big J necklace pendant, and she's like, holy shit, Harley Quinn has broken up with the Joker, or the Joker's broken up with Harley Quinn, which means it's pretty much open season on Harley Quinn. Oh dear, bad times for Harley, but she doesn't quite catch on to that because she does things without thinking. She has a hangover. We're gonna get to that. We're gonna get to that. Before we do, we have to say that also Renee approaches Dinah, now that she's Roman's driver, about being a confidential informant for her, saying to her, like, your mum used to do that for us too.
You have the same power as your mom. She says that, too.
Oh. What power? Girl power? No, sonic powers. Like, actual, literal fucking powers. Like, I mean, yeah, girl power, but also actual power.
Yeah, which also implies that there's been superheroes in the DC universe since before Superman.
And yet, in Man of Steel, everyone's just like, oh my god, this is completely unprecedented. Oh my god, a man who could fly.
I mean, okay, compare a woman who can scream real good to a man that can just, like, who is just a god.
Fair enough.
Like, I don't know if they're very comparable.
Fair enough. And so, okay, so that happens. And then, meanwhile, Harley is out on a usual day, a usual hangover routine, which is to get the best egg muffin breakfast burger sandwich thing, which looks fucking delicious.
It looks great.
And then the police try to arrest her, and as well as all these other people try and capture her, because turns out, now that she doesn't have the Joker's protection, there's a lot of people who want her dead. And it's got this cool graphic that just like identifies the person and then identifies their literal grievance. And I fucking love that graphic.
The first one is the woman who, like, because Harley does roller derby now, and she broke this woman's nose.
And the grievances get progressively worse from there, from breaking their legs, as seen earlier, to feeding their relative to hyena, and to lots of things. And it's just funny. And it leads to a fun chase with Harley being trying to avoid the police and all these people out to get her, whilst also trying to save the sandwich, also seeing, ooh, cute purse. And it's just so fun. It really epitomizes Harley and her skills, but also her mindset. And she eventually gets tackled by Renee, and the sandwich flies out of her hand in slow motion. She's like, no! And remember that trailer where we saw her face, which is like screwed up and contorted in grief and anguish?
Yeah, she's like crying. Yeah.
Turns out that was about a sandwich!
That's like 100% Harley right there.
Oh, it's just brilliant. So she gets eventually does manage to get away, but gets.
Right. I love it. She also says, like, it took me losing everything to finally realize how big the target on my back was. Like, losing everything, i.e. your sandwich.
Oh god. She eventually gets away from Renee, but does get cornered by a bunch of other crims. And oh god. Meanwhile, while all that's going on, Roman's Sionist sends Dinah and Zaz to get this diamond, which has a bit of a backstory. It's basically the MacGuffin of the movie. It's the Bertinelli diamond, which in addition to being a really fucking awesome diamond, also has like laser imprinted into it the details of the Bertinelli crime family's bank account, which is why the Bertinelli crime family was massacred all those years ago, because people were after all of that fucking money. And so they're going to get it. But meanwhile, while they're doing that, a person we've seen sporadically throughout the movie is a Cassandra Cain, pickpockets the diamonds from Zaz, gets arrested, and has to swallow the diamond. Here's the thing. Cassandra Cain, she's kind of different from she is in the comics.
100% different than she is in the comics. She is the same, like, she's not the same ethnicity, but she's not the same, like, nationality, but she's the same general ethnicity, and she has the name Cassandra Cain, and we don't know who her parents are, which could be a nod to the fact that her parents are evil. But yeah, like, it doesn't,
because so what is Cassandra Cain in the comics?
So she's been a few things. She's been Black Bat, Orphan, and Batgirl. I think currently she's Orphan, but she is, for the most part, mute. She is the daughter of, I can't remember her dad's first name, but his last name is Cain, and I think he just goes by Cain, and he's a big crime lord, and her mother is Lady Shiva, who's a member of the League of Assassins. So she is a badass. She's like a huge badass, and she's a badass at a young age. She's proto Damian Wayne for the most part. Like they took a lot of stuff about Damian or a lot of stuff about Cassandra and gave it to Damian before Damian existed, and she's the only girl that Bruce has ever actually adopted.
Oh, wow. Oh, screw you, Dick. Screw you, Tim. Screw you, Barbara. This random orphan mute girl is more deserving of my legal love.
I mean, like, he's adopted plenty of boys, but he's never adopted. The only girl he's ever adopted is Cassandra. And
God, he and Madonna should form a support group.
Yeah. So she's technically sisters of all of the Bat Boys. But she kind of got sidelined fairly recently and hasn't kind of been in the spotlight. It's hard to do a character that's mute. This is not her. And someone actually made the theory that, like, Cassandra Cain in the comics is, like, the Cassandra Cain that we know is not actually this Cassandra Cain. Is that, like, Bruce will come to her later and trade her name and her identity so she can, like, so he can hide his new daughter. Which is the actual Cassandra Cain.
Blimey! Wow. Okay.
It's a thing, but, like, I think a lot of people are disappointed that it's not her, and I understand. Like,
why even just call her Cassandra Cain? Why can't you call her something? Here's an idea. Couldn't she be, like, Catwoman's sidekick? What's her name?
Holly Robinson. I think, unfortunately, the way that they cast this movie, it was going to be hard to sell people on an Asian main character if the character already was an Asian. So if they
did that with Black Canary.
They did do that with Black Canary. And I don't think, like, I think this was like a studio thing. I don't know if this was actually like a win cast, because she was one of the first people cast. It was like Harley, and then it was her, and then it was everyone else. And people were shocked.
I want to point out, I'm fine with the actor. The actor playing Cassandra Cain is brilliant. Mm-hmm. Like, but I just thought it was weird that it was the character. But you know what? It doesn't matter. This is Cassandra Cain. I can deal with that.
Yeah.
And so, but then Roman and Zaz find out that, this is the person that stole the diamond. And so Roman's just like, get that diamond back no matter what. But here's the thing. Dinah lives near Cash. She lives in the same building. And so she's met her, she's talked to her, she's empathized with her a little bit. And so immediately when she finds out that Cassandra is in danger, she calls up Montoya and basically says, okay, yeah, Roman Zionist, Diamond, Cassandra Cain, bad times, get on that. And so while that's going on, Roman basically says, okay, Harley Quinn, you're really annoying, so I'm gonna kill you. And she's like, okay, yes, but I heard you want this diamond thing. I can get it back for you. You know, I've got skills. Ask Amanda Waller. And
she pulls out her business card. Card. I love her business card. It says, like, it was, like, mercenary or something. It says, like, psychiatrist. And, like, it's a psychiatrist, and it's, like, crossed out in dog walker. And, like...
That's another thing as well. They make numerous references in this movie to the fact that Harley was a psychologist, psychiatrist, and also does have a PhD. They don't shy away from that.
Because the guy calls her a dumb slut, and she says, "Don't say I'm dumb, I have a PhD."
She psychoanalyzes Roman as well.
Yeah.
It's actually really fascinating to see this kind of ditzy character use this really cool mental skill she has to completely disassemble one man's complete and utter pathetic facade of a psyche.
Right.
It's actually really brilliant. I personally wouldn't antagonize the man who strapped me down and was about to peel my face off, but that's just me.
Well, and this is also something that was in that that thread about how they like don't like how it's kind of not when they're beating her, and they are beating her, you only see the first and last hit. But it's still happening because she has this dream sequence. She's singing like a fucked up version of Diamonds Are a Girl's Best Friend, and like every time they hit her, she like her perspective changes, or she like the scene changes, and so you know that she's getting beaten, but you don't see it. You just know that it's happening because of this dream sequence.
A kiss on the wrist could be quite continental, but diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Yeah,
it's actually it's kind of out of nowhere and goes just as quickly as it came, but it's still kind of cool.
Yeah, and I think it's a great way to do that without just like watching Harley get beat.
Yeah, because that would have been. But when it's fine when she's up and about and can move around. But when she's tied down, that's a little bit squicky. But anyway, but basically she says, "I can find you that diamond, not a problem. And if I can't, well, you can just kill me." And Roman just sort of goes along with it. But so this is what annoys me. He says, "Okay, fine, go get my diamond." But then he says, what the hell? Let's post like $500,000 bounty on Cassandra.
Well, he said he wants to first light a fire under Harley's ass, and two, if she dies in the crossfire, who cares? Like, that's two birds, one stone.
I suppose, but like he already had her. He could have just killed her and gotten the stone anyway. I don't
know. Maybe he
didn't trust his men to actually get it themselves, but he knew Harley could at least like open the path.
And yet he still
because of course he wasn't gonna like keep his promises. Like he doesn't give a shit about Harley.
No, he doesn't. But
we missed how Dinah got to be his driver. Like they met,
yes, because
they met because her and Harley met at the bar, and Harley was fucking smashed, and then like the next morning Harley's outside with this guy, and she's like not functional, and he tries to take her somewhere, and
oh god,
yeah, it was super uncomfortable, and Dinah's like, don't pay attention, don't pay attention.
That's good though. It's good that they don't. So it's good that they don't shy away from it.
And Dinah's like, this is none of my business. I need to stay out of it. And then she can't do it anymore. And she like gets out of her car and she beats the shit out of these guys.
She uses her Black Canary fine skills. I love it.
And Zaz sees it.
And Roman Zaz sees it. Roman sees it. Is just like, oh, you know what? She can fight really well. She should drive a car.
Yeah. Well, I think it's like she can also be like, driver is also kind of a bodyguard position.
Yeah, and so now that Harley's got a new mission to get the diamond back and find Cassandra Cain, she breaks into the Gotham City police department with non-lethal grenade launcher beanbag things. And it's just like, here's the thing. It looks fucking awesome. It's an awesome action sequence. Like her shooting people in various body parts with all these shit and just beating people up and using her skills. It looks fucking awesome. Would she really use non-lethal rounds? It's Harley Quinn, you know?
I don't know. I mean, like, she's done that before. I think it's less that she wants to save cops' lives. I don't think she gives a shit. It's more that this is the coolest way she could think to do it.
That's a good point, yeah.
This is the most, like, out of the box, like, it looks fucking great kind of way to do it. And, like, and she kind of shows, she doesn't kill a cop, but she kills a guy, at the end of the scene, where she just shoots him in the face. Like, she doesn't care. Like, she takes a gun, she shoots him in the face, and that's the end of it.
Yeah, because
But if she can, she's gonna find more creative.
Because she finds Cassandra, she breaks her out, and they basically go through like the evidence room, piled high with all sorts of evidence. Missed opportunity for some Easter eggs, but maybe I saw them and just missed them.
There's probably some in there.
And there's too many of the goons who are trying to fight her to get to Cassandra. Again, Roman feels like this is more of an impediment than an advantage, but anyway. But then she accidentally inhales some cocaine, and it magically makes her a better fighter. They stole that joke from American Dad.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm sure other people have done that joke, but it's a great sequence. Like she finds a bat, referencing Suicide Squad. Oh, and she referenced Suicide Squad in the actual main area because she asked where Cassandra Cain is. They say, oh, she's like in the cell. She turns around, she sees a wanted poster for Captain Boomerang. She's like, oh, I know him. And then she just leaves.
Hey, I know that guy. It's to remind people, like, hey, remember the Suicide Squad is coming out. Like, don't forget.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple more. There's like one more big reference to Suicide Squad.
Yeah, and so she gets Cassandra Cain out, and they go to Harley's apartment where they bond and they talk about how being a criminal and stuff like that, and what it means to be a woman in this modern day world. Cass shows off her pickpocket skills, getting out of handcuffs and stuff, and Harley, just basically sits with her, just waiting for her to. Well, shit out the diamond, basically, because she ate it.
Yeah. Well, that's also when they're in the grocery store, when I think there's another reference to Suicide Squad in there, because she says, like, if you want to be like me, and she just goes over her entire history, and towards the end, she's like, save the world, get broken out of prison, and then break up with your boyfriend.
Yeah, it's really, I just love. They went from a really cool action sequence to a really cool character moment and character dynamic for both Cassandra and Harley. It's really, really awesome that we can have the best of both worlds. And it's not just a mindless action film or too boring with people just talking all the goddamn time. It's the best of both worlds, and it's fun. It's all
also
fun.
The line from the trailer, like, you never call a woman a chick. Like, I prefer dame, broad, lady, and on occasion bitch or something.
Yeah, because they just fucking own it. And so while they're talking, she's got an apartment above a Chinese restaurant owned by this guy, Doc, and it says, the graphic comes up, says, grievances, none. And a little halo appears like, oh, we like Doc. He's the one good man in her life. He's going to betray her, isn't he? Yes, he does! Yeah. Because he's approached by this person we've been seen sporadically throughout the movie, the Crossbow Killer, which is revealed to be Valerie Bertinelli! Wait, no.
Helena. What?
Okay, sorry. I'm terribly sorry. I accidentally slipped to my one day at a time classic mode.
Okay.
Maybe I've seen one too many episodes of Hot in Cleveland. Who knows? It's Helena Bertinelli, obviously, played by...
Mary Elizabeth Winstead.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead. I just keep referring to her in my head as that lady what was in Sky High.
Sky High, Scott Pilgrim, and 10 Cloverfield Lane, I think, are her three big...
She's been in lots of other movies. She's a very prolific actress, but those are some of her big ones, yeah. And she's a really good actor when she's in the right role. And here's the thing. Huntress in this movie. She's Huntress. And here's the thing. She has a really interesting personality trait. She's actually kind of awkward. She's an excellent fighter. She's got some rage issues, some family issues. But she's also just kind of awkward just around people because she's been so focused...
She's never had, like, a social life.
She's been so focused on being an awesome assassin, she didn't pick up any social skills, so she just kind of, she practices the whole Huntress line in the mirror, and I just thought...
They call me... Okay, they call me... They call me the... And it says, like, Crossbow Killer. She's like, I'm a Crossbow Killer!
And it's so humanizing, and it's so funny, and I really like it, but here's the thing. This character has about the same amount of backstory as all the other main characters in this movie. She's not lacking for backstory. However, I would say she gets the least amount of development. She's just kind of there to avenge her family, and then she does, and then her purpose in the movie is kind of over.
For the most part, she avenges her family off screen.
Yeah.
Not in major scenes, other than and she comes in at the end to kind of,
fill out the team. Which I think, like, if they needed to, like, cut down one character, and I think
Her is fine. Like, she really does seem like this mysterious person throughout the film, and they kind of keep that. She's a very mysterious person, and
in which case,
she's a loner.
it would have been better if they didn't cut her down so much as just kept her mysterious. Have her just like pop up and just like, who the hell is that? And it's Huntress. It's cool, but she just keeps on popping up, and she's forever that enigma. But then we get to know her a little bit, and it's cool, but it's not enough.
Right. I mean, that's probably why they're teasing that sequel.
Yeah.
Because she seems like the semi-leader of that team.
Yeah, and I will say, though, her backstory in this, I did a little bit of research, her backstory in this is better than her original backstory.
I mean, this is the backstory they've had for her for years, so I don't know.
They altered that backstory, though, from her original. Do you know what that is?
No, I don't think so.
Basically exactly the same as it's usually been, except they also added her, like being a 9-year-old, 8-year-old girl, getting raped.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
That's fun.
Yeah, no, they've just been keeping the murder thing.
They get the murder thing. It's like, maybe let's not have the child rape in this story about cool, fun, costumed superheroes. Maybe let's not do that.
Yeah, she's alright. They keep, like, Helena, like, they had to, I guess, come out with a bang when they needed to replace Helena Wayne, because they realized they can't keep Helena Wayne around.
So
cause some problems.
Help me out here. Who is Helena Wayne?
Helena Wayne is the Earth 2 daughter of Batman and Batman and Catwoman, and she.
Is that the person from the Birds of Prey TV series?
Yes. So she's their daughter, and it's kind of.
But she's not
like
the Huntress in the
Earth
comics.
2,
She just like wears a trench coat and stuff.
No, she is. She was Huntress.
Oh, but she doesn't have a crossbow.
Huntress in the comics. She did have a crossbow. She like the differences between Helena Bartonelli and Helena Wayne are very subtle. Really, it's just name. They have very similar personalities. On Earth 2, Catwoman died while she was Robin, and then she decided to become So Helena decided to become Huntress, and then Bruce dies because a lot of Earth 2 implodes. I think this is a more recent thing, but the only two people who make it out of Earth 2 when it implodes are Power Girl and Huntress. And so they get to Earth 1, and there's already a Huntress, but she decides she's going to keep it because she chose this name.
Fuck it. I don't see a copyright there. I don't see a copyright there, Bertinelli.
Right, yeah. And the reason why she's called Power Girl and not Supergirl is because she comes to Earth 1, sees that there's a Supergirl, and she's like, all right, I'll be Power Girl.
I'll be Power Girl because my hair is different, my costume is different, and there's a big boob window in it.
Yeah.
Which could easily have a logo featuring the letters P and G in it, stylized. Like, why do we need to have a boob window? Why do we need to be reminded that you have cleavage? What does that add?
It's the whole thing.
Stupid. Like, I'm fine. Well, I'm not fine, but I can tolerate, like, the big revealed thigh in the costume. Like, that's the least thing. I don't care the fact that you're wearing a fucking spandex from a fucking mid-90s techno song. I don't care about that. But at least get rid of the boob window. Meet me halfway here, DC. Moving on. And so, Huntress meets Doc, and she's, as you say, she's been targeting the gangsters responsible for the murder of her family. While that's going on, suddenly we cut to Quinn's apartment, suddenly exploding. Boom. And her hyena...
Oh, and she name drops the hyena finally.
The what?
She actually explains his name.
Oh, yeah, she named him Bruce after that hunky Bruce Wayne guy.
Yeah, she named Bruce after that hunky Wayne guy. She's wearing her, like, dog tag has Bruce on it. And my mom was like, she noticed that, and she pointed it out. She's like, why does she have Bruce on her? Like, that's Batman, right? And I'm like, no, don't worry, you'll figure, like, they explain it. Because it was in the trailer.
Quiet, Mum, shush. And, yeah, and so the hyena, that Bruce, gets lost in the explosion and she can't find them. And it's just like, oh, I guess the CGI budget ran out.
Yeah, I was so sad. I was like, no, Bruce.
Yeah. Because it turns out a bunch of criminals have just been, like, blowing up the apartment looking for Cassandra. And the reason why they
the guy who blows up the apartment is a guy who Harley didn't sleep with. They do his like grievance thing. She doesn't remember his name, but the grievance says like it's like an eggplant emoji and then like a slash through it. It's like no eggplant.
That doesn't date this movie at all. But anyway, and
I mean they did explicitly date the movie when they were showing her list of grievances with Roman, and one of them is voted for Bernie.
Oh yes, I forgot about that.
Harley voted for Bernie Sanders, and I love that. I love that. Don't know how she voted for Bernie Sanders. So it must have been before. She must have not been Harley in 2016.
Who knows? Oh, dearie me. Anyway, so Bruce is gone, and it turns out that Doc sold them out because he just got too much money for it. It's just like, oh, damn, the one guy she depended on, the one man she actually liked, fucking betrayed her, and she doesn't turn around and kill him. Like, I feel like it's a Harley Quinn thing to do. She just sort of lets him go because she's so devastated.
She's like really upset, and she that's she understands. Like, she figures out, like, he tells her why, and she's like, you know what? I get it. It's just business.
And so
and then she tries to sell out Cassandra because of it.
Yeah, because she's got nowhere else to go and she's sort of downhearted. She says, you know what, I'm not waiting for you to poop out the diamond. We're going to go to Roman and just say, hey, Roman, can you, I got the girl. Can you make sure I don't get killed in return for me giving the girl? And he's like, yeah, sure. Let's meet at an abandoned fairground.
Well,
Gotham City architecture and Gotham City real estate is the weirdest in the world.
Yeah. I mean, and this is like, they don't spell it out, but it's like it very much implied that this was a former Joker and Harley hideout.
Yeah, and
which makes sense. Like, that's exactly what it was, you know, in the animated series and comics. And
it would have been a really cool place to set the Suicide Squad movie, but they didn't, so I'll take it. And so while that's going on, Dinah tells Montoya about the fact that they're going to meet Cassandra. Zaz sees the text message. You'd think, being that you're a confidential informant inside a gang that is known for killing people with absolute impunity, that you'd hide your texts better, Dinah.
Yeah.
The delete or anything, no. And he basically informs Roman. And this is when Roman went from being just a regular run-of-the-mill misogynistic bastard to an absolute fucking scumbag.
Well, this happened before Dinah betrayed him. Like, this is before. So this is, like, just a normal day for him.
Oh, yeah, actually, no, because here's the thing. I reckon makers of this movie knew that people were going to make excuses for Roman in this movie. They were going to say, oh yeah, like, he's definitely a bad guy, but is he really a misogynist? Is he really sexist? Like, you know, he wasn't so bad. No, they wanted to make sure that no one could make any excuses for this guy. I am sorry to report this to you, Capers, if you haven't seen this, but we're going to, I'm just...
Like, major content warning.
Yes. So he sees this girl, this woman, laughing with her friends at a booth in his club, and he storms over and he says, like, are you laughing about me? Because he's becoming more and more unhinged as the movie goes on. Are you laughing about me? And she's like, what? No, you're crazy. Come on. And he's just like, get up on the table. It's like, what? Get up on the table. Okay. Dance. I don't want to dance. Okay, take your dress off. I'm not going to do that. Tear your dress off. I'm not going to do that. You, here's a knife. Tear her fucking dress off. And we, the audience, are made to watch this truly horrific, slow assault on this poor woman. And the poor actor, fucking sells it brilliantly.
And they don't ever show, like, there's no, like, panning shot. There's no, like, pan up her body as she's dancing. She is, like, we see her face for the most part and her, like, clutching her dress, terrified, crying. This is not framed in a sexy way at all.
It is framed in a completely completely and utterly traumatic way to make us A, terrified for this woman, because we don't know if she's going to survive or not, B, sorry for this woman that she's going through this ordeal in the first place, and C, and I think this is the real takeaway here, know that we want Roman Sionis to fucking die.
Yep. And Dinah's there, and she's like crying. Like, it's rough. Like, I think that's kind of where Dinah decides, okay, whatever fucking next happens, I'm gonna sell him out.
Yeah, it's a really hard scene to watch. I'm not gonna lie to you, Capers.
It's hard.
But it's necessary. It's necessary for us to know that this is a man who we shall cheer for when he is ultimately dispatched. And so that happens a bit before, as you say, and but then later on, Zaz says, "Hey, Roman, your girl, Dinah, yeah, she's fucking betrayed you." And Roman is just like, oh my god, he's like completely shattered by this. Because in his head, he built them up that they were like, they had a thing. They did not have a thing.
They did not have a thing. I mean, though, he might have a thing with Zaz.
You know what? I wish them the best of luck in that. They work well with each other.
Yeah, I mean, that's something that the director said wasn't a thing. But well, I think what it is, both Chris and Ewan both said that.
Ewan, for God's sake!
Ewan both said that there's something maybe there.
I think what it is Zaz is a true sociopath as well as being a psychopath because he knows how to push all of Roman's buttons. He knows how to feed the worst aspects from him.
And he also gets jealous. So he does it seems he does care about Roman to the point where he gets jealous whenever he's talking to anyone else.
It's guy love, don't compromise the feeling of some other guy stabbing another guy in his face. It's a cool chemistry between the two of them. It really is. And so, because of this, Roman dons his black mask because he's the villain Black Mask in the comics. So he gets the black mask, which I thought he'd be wearing more of in the movie. Like we see it like one other time, but no, he's just got the black mask on. He's
too big of an actor, I think, to cover his face like that for the rest of the movie.
It's the Sylvester Stallone
Judge Dredd. Yeah. That and also like this is like the climax of the movie. This is him like going all out. Like this is his battle armor for the most part. Yeah.
And so we're all converging on the amusement park. Harley straps Cass down to a toilet, just says, okay, just like shit out the diamond already. God damn. Like this is the only chance you got. But Cassandra is really betrayed, feeling betrayed, but a lot of betrayal going around by Harley. And so this is the big low point for everyone. Montoya shows up to confront Harley, but is knocked out of a window, but not really, because she just kind of climbs right back up, just like, hey, I was defenestrated, what the fuck? Mm-hmm. And
Renee's not a cop anymore.
Oh yeah, she gets fired because she's just like, I've got a real case here against.
She said she steals evidence from the crime scene. She steals one of the phones that the thugs had when Harley broke in, and she, instead of like keeping it for herself because she knew she would get searched, she sent it to her ex-girlfriend, and her ex-girlfriend ratted her out.
Yeah, sorry, Ali Wong. Ah, God. But and so now she's going rogue. She's a rogue cop out of her own. Yeah. And actually, that's a good point. Actually, there's so many in big like budget Hollywood action stars. There's so many big male rogue cops like Dirty Harry and all that sort of stuff. Very few female ones. I can't actually. There's a few female cops, mostly played by Sandra Bullock, but there are never any rogue ones. You know.
Right. I think, and this is something that like me as a person living in the U.S. and a lot of people here hate cops. Her number one character flaw in this movie.
Why? What could have they possibly done to make you dislike them?
Slaughter innocent black people.
Well, okay, if you want to be nitpicky about it, sure.
Yeah. But her number one character flaw in this movie is being a cop. And that's the thing she gets over by the end of the movie is that being a cop.
Blue lives matter. No one cares. Shut up.
This movie said fuck blue lives.
Yeah. I want to point out at this point that Podcapers in no way endorses violence against the police. Moving on. So Zaz arrives at the amusement park and shoots Harley in the neck with a tranquilizing gun, and chooses this moment to turn the tables on Dinah and basically say, "Oh yeah, we know that you're a fucking rat. You're gonna die now." But then he gets shot in the neck as well by a huntress who reveals that Zaz was the very last person who killed her family. And that's her story arc done.
Yeah, and then she also says and it's not just her that gets a blow in. Dinah also gets a blow in, and then she pushes him back into Harley, who pulls out the dart and starts stabbing him. They all just fucking wail on Zaz.
Chris Messina is just pretending to be unconscious, just God damn, I'm not doing anything. Stop it.
Yeah, the Renee comes up and she stabs him one more time.
Someone else just kicks him while he's down. It's just fair enough, because he was an absolute bastard. God, and so it's very satisfying. And
also Renee says it's not the end of her journey because Roman is the one who funded her family's murder.
Which kind of comes out of left field, though.
Yeah, but it makes I think it makes sense for this. It makes sense to tie her in, and timeline-wise, I think people are a little bit confused about that, but, it was only 15 years, and we're thinking that, Helena is maybe, 25 at max. Zaz could be, 30 or 35, and...
Well, Chris Messina is, 40. In his 40s or something.
Right,
so.
Yeah, it's not that too far off base that they would both be involved.
I just want to say, Chris Messina's got kind of range. He's just comedy, he's done action, he's done drama, he's been in the Newsroom and Menji Project. He's a pretty good actor. Yeah. Anyway, kind of constantly talk about that guy. So it turns out a bit of a standoff comes along with all the characters finally assembled in one room for the first time. It's actually quite a good moment. It's sort of like a reversal of that scene in Avengers where they stand in that street in New York with the camera panning around them, just showing look at us, trailer moment. But here they're not fighting against other people, they're fighting with each other. But then they take a look outside and just oh shit, Romans arrived with basically a small army. And it's at this point I want to point out that Batman is nowhere to be fucking seen. I just imagine that he is in the Batcave just Alfred, more Doritos! I'm watching Rick and Morty! Master Wayne, there appears to be a large conglomeration of bad guys and criminals up at Amusement Mile. They appear to be trying to attack and abduct a small child. Would you like to do something about that, Master Wayne? Not for me, no. It's someone else will get it, someone else will be... Fine, there's lots of us now. Sir, the Flash is doing nothing, Aquaman is off with his new girl toy, and the Wonder Woman is sitting in her apartment reminiscing about the 80s. Right. I think you're the only one.
The Flash was actually doing Crisis.
Oh yeah, he was appearing for 5 seconds in Crisis on Infinite Earth.
Also, there's
one CW executive was just guys, we got Ezra Miller for a day. Not even a whole day, half a day. We got him though.
He loves that shit. But I also it's not explicit when this movie takes place, so it could be happening at the same time as Justice League. It really could.
Batman gets back from fucking Russia or whatever it was that movie was so just what the hell? Yeah. I was gone for 5 minutes and Ace Chemical blows up. Alfred, why didn't you do something? Master Wayne, I'm 60 fucking years old. What do you want me to do? I don't know. Bottle them to death. Anyway. And so, there's a huge army of criminals that external sources have identified as the False Face Society. I don't know or care. Yeah. But Harley Quinn is just don't worry, guys. I've got a plan. You see? I've got a huge fucking arsenal of weapons right in this cabinet. It's gone. It's all gone.
Joker cleaned it out. Joker took all the shit.
But then they get another cabinet, another little box full of some other equipment, so it's fine. And they pull out Harley Quinn's, a bustier of Harley Quinn's old outfit. Mm-hmm. It's just oh, could you wear that, Harley Quinn? No, okay. But in fairness, they also have another joke.
First, they bring out the Daddy's Little Monster shirt.
Fuck that shirt.
And she says, no, that whole sentimental value, not that one. And then she gives Renee I think direct reference to her most recent comics outfit, which is the like bulletproof corset.
Because that's how bulletproof material works.
I mean, it is bulletproof material, but it's not like if they shoot her anywhere above the boobs, she's fucked. Like,
yeah, there's a whole like shoulder area, neck area that's perfectly exposed. Like it. Rosie Perez is not a large woman. Okay, she's not very tall.
I think she's the short. Other than Cash, she's the shortest of the group.
She's tiny, but and so then it's a big old fight between all these mobsters and the gang in this big old amusement thing, and it's fucking amazing. There's like tilt-a-whirls and big slides and stuff.
And Helena gives like Cass the car that her brother gave her when their family was dying, and told her like, just hide out. Think about this car. Don't think about anything else. You shouldn't have to see this.
Yeah, and it's so cool. It's an awareness of the innocence, which Avengers did, and Justice League and all the other things didn't. And it's
Justice League did actually. Justice League.
I meant Man of Steel. Sorry.
Right. I think that, like, Justice League had an explicit thing with the Flash, which is one of my favorite moments of that terrible film.
And they fight with each other. They fight independently of each other. They work off each other. They all use their skills and stuff. It's just a...
Harley gives Dinah a hair tie.
Oh yeah, because her hair for this whole movie has just been whipping about the place. Just like, goddamn, Scrunchy is your friend.
Yeah.
And then Harley Quinn...
Oh, and Dinah's using the Goodnight bat from Suicide Squad.
Oh, yeah, okay. I didn't notice that, and I do not care. And it's so cool. And then Harley Quinn puts on roller skates for some reason.
She had them draped over her shoulder, and then she was like gonna put them on, and then they got attacked. And then like suddenly she's wearing them, and Dinah's like, when did she have time to do a shoe change?
It's so funny. And then they get rid of most of the bad guys, but one of them does manage to grab Cass. And Montoya is shot, but don't worry, it was below the boobs.
Yeah, they're not burying this gay today. Not today.
Oh yeah, very nice. And so it's like, oh my god, they're getting away. If only one of us had a motorcycle. I do, but I'm not going to use it yet. Oh shit. Well, what can we do?
Well, no, they're being pinned down by the gunfire. They can't get out.
So Dinah finally uses her sonic scream, which exhausts her so much she falls over.
Yep. It's probably the first time she's used it in a real long time, which is probably why she's like, ugh.
And she also uses this to propel Harley towards the car, and it doesn't deafen her.
She has her fingers in her ears.
Oh, well, never mind then. Perfect defense against large sonic attacks. 2 pinkies in your ears, goddamn.
Yeah.
But she's still not quite catching up. At which point, Huntress shows up on her motorcycle, as I said, and she just attaches herself to the motorcycle and uses it to roller derby skill her way to the fleeing car. And I remember watching this movie, just sat there, just thinking like, I'm watching Harley Quinn be propelled along by a rope attached to a motorcycle being driven by Ramona Flowers. This is excellent. I like this. This is good for me. This is good for my psyche and my soul. And she finally manages to grab onto the car. Cass gives away by saying, Harley! And it's just like, shut up, kid. She was getting away with it. Jeez. It's a big fight over and along the car. It's very Raiders of the Lost Ark. I fucking love it. Mm-hmm. And she managed to kill her.
Car crashes.
She managed to get rid of all the goons, but Harley Quinn has to chase on foot because Huntress got knocked over off her motorcycle, and that looked like it fucking hurt.
Oh, yeah, that was rough. She's like, whip me. And I'm like, okay, cool. So she's just going to, turn to the side. And then she, like, crashes. And I'm like, oh, no.
Shit, wipe out. And they go to this place called Founders Pier, which I remember as being a landmark in Gotham.
Yep. Yeah, I was like, oh, is this going to be... Because I saw the Iron Gate, and I was like, oh, it's Arkham. And then it was Founders Pier. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Arkham would have been too much security. Just like, okay, Harley Quinn and Black Mask are outside, and she looks armed. Like, I think we're prepared for this. But no, Founders Pier is pretty cool. And I remember Ewan McGregor like shouting a bunch of stuff in the mist. God damn if I could not hear what he was saying.
Oh, really? Because I could hear it pretty clearly.
Do you remember?
He was saying, like, it's stuff that he also said in the trailers, like, you can't do anything alone. You're the type, like, the same thing as her friends were saying at the beginning of the movie. Like, you're not the type to be able to stand on your own. You need me, Quinn. Like, you can't go out on your own. I'm the only person that can protect you, and you need to chill the fuck out because you need me.
Yeah, and she was like, yeah, but no? What's a no?
So they should be afraid of me, not you, not Mr. J, me, because I'm Harley fucking Quinn.
Yes! That's what I want to see!
Yep, and then she shoots the wrong thing.
Yeah, she knew she only had so many bullets, but she still shot the wrong thing. And he was like, haha, now what are you going to do? And Cass was like, oh, by the way, I have maxed out my skill in pickpocketing. Well,
I stole your ring.
Oh, yeah. And then something disappointing happens. He goes, and then gets pushed over the side of the pier and immediately blows up into bloody wet chunks and the very dark, difficult to make out night.
That was satisfying. I don't know what you mean.
No, it was. Okay, it was, but it was less satisfying than it could have been, you know?
I know. I like that a lot. I think, like, Cassie being the one to do the final blow when she's the one who's been, like, chased and she hasn't been able to do anything this entire time. Yeah. And she's the one who gets the final blow. Like, he realizes, oh shit, that's a grenade. He backs the hell up, trying to get away from her. I thought he was going to land in the water before he explodes, and he explodes on the way down, and it's gory and it's awesome.
It is awesome, but it's just, for me, it was just over too quickly. Like, the first gasp backing away, falling over the rails, that was cool, but then you basically see a CGI body falling towards the water and exploding into bloody chunklets, which was cool, but it's just like, do you remember the movie The Interview? You know, that movie that almost started a war?
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Do you remember the scene where they blow up Kim Jong-un? It's set to an acoustic version of Katy Perry's Firework, and it's done in slow motion, and you see his clothes and hair ignite, and he slowly gets incinerated. I feel like we could have had something like that.
I like the way it was. I think it was like a very serious, like it was a pretty serious moment, and so like that tension being cut so quickly is I think the comedy that it was needed in that scene.
Maybe, but when you have a character that's this hateable, you want to draw out its death as long as possible for maximum impact.
I think the idea behind it is he's so pathetic. He's such a little piece of shit that he doesn't deserve them like taking their time with him. They just want to get him over with. He doesn't deserve it. Like, his whole thing is that he deserves everything. He wants everything. He wants everyone's attention all the time. If they like give him the time of day and make him feel like he was important at all to them, that's him winning, even if he dies.
Fair enough. For me, it wasn't enough, but I can understand why it would be enough for someone else. Yeah. And so, and then we engage into the last 5-minute wrap up. The criminal empire of Roman is completely gone. Montoya just like, yeah, I'm not going to be a police officer. I'm starting my own crew with blackjack and hookers. And it turns out that that's the birds of prey. They use the money from the accounts hidden within the diamond to start this team. And we see them like fighting a bunch of people, and it looks kind of cool, except they're wearing costumes that, I'm just going to be honest, don't look brilliant.
Yeah, I think those are their starter uniforms. Because they don't...
Fair enough.
They have like a full huntress mask, which is cool. But like...
It was all right.
They don't have like a...
Because she's just been like, we're wearing leather and a motorcycle helmet for most of the movie. But it was all right, and it's like... They're the birds of prey, and that's what made me think, like, okay, this is such... It's not an afterthought, but it's close to an afterthought, and so... I don't know. This is why I think that this is a Harley Quinn movie with the birds of prey and not a birds of prey movie. Right. But that's fine.
Yeah.
And then Harley and Cassandra sell the actual diamond itself to a pawn shop and start their own business, and they sort of ride off into the sunset, and
with Bruce.
everything is cool.
With Bruce. They found Bruce.
Oh yeah, fucking hell. Turns out Bruce did not die. He was just, they just said, oh yeah, I found him. He was wandering around Chinatown. Just like, Do you want to elaborate a bit more on that? Like, we could have seen what he got up to. No, apparently he survived the explosion without a scratch and was fine. And I guess they got a little injection of CGI money.
Yep, that's fine. I'm fine with that.
I'm fine with that. And then and then that's the movie. And then I wait till the end of the credits just in case. Nothing except little message from Harley Quinn. She's like, "What? You're still here? Well, okay, seeing as you've been patient, I've got a little secret for you. Turns out Batman is..." And then it just cuts out. And it's just like, okay, that's something, that's fine. You know what? I love Marvel, but goddamn, I cannot sit through every credit sequence in every superhero movie just on the off chance, because I've done that before. I've walked out before the credits are finished just because I thought there won't be anything, and then I find out there is something and I get really disappointed. And you know, I do this for you, Capers. I do this for you, so you have all the facts.
Yeah, it's.
You know,
I mean,
treasure
it's
me for
annoying.
this.
I've never liked post-credit scenes. Like they're interesting, but they're pretty much just trailers for the next movie.
Yeah, or they just one-off jokes to give you one last-minute chuckle before you leave the theater.
Or in the case of, was it Deadpool, where one of the post-credit scenes was literally just a trailer for Into the Spider-Verse?
No, it was Venom. It was Venom. Yeah, and you're absolutely right.
It was Venom.
Oh.
Yeah, which I don't think that's the case that wasn't the case in the US, because we got we got that Woody Harrelson.
Oh yeah, we got that as well.
In
yeah,
the US.
So
okay, well, I don't, because I also stayed in that. We did not get a Into the Spider-Verse trailer.
yeah, but in any case, that's the movie. Let's talk about the cast. Margot Robbie, brilliant.
10 out of 10. Best. She is hard. Like, I see a lot of comparisons with Ryan Reynolds. Like, she is what Ryan Reynolds is to
I think
Deadpool.
that's an excellent comparison. I think that's entirely fair.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the only thing I did not like about Harley Quinn in Suicide Squad was her relationship with the Joker. It was pretending that it was loving when actually it's supposed to be abusive. I know the character's been around for like nearly 30 years now, but I'm not saying you can't reinvent characters, because a lot of characters in this are reinvented, but it's such an, for want of a better word, iconic part of their relationship dynamic, an important part. And it's one thing to take a relationship that was previously loving and turn it abusive, like, say, with the Wasp and Giant Man. It's another thing to take a relationship that was definitely physically and verbally and emotionally abusive and make it seem like it's good. And that feels wrong to me.
Yeah.
But they fixed that now, and it's all good.
And I think we're in, especially with the new DC Universe TV show, we're in the renaissance of mainstreaming Harley alone.
Yeah, now I don't think that's...
Like, Harley will be known more as, in the mainstream, not as Joker's girlfriend, but as her own
And
thing.
I've watched a few episodes of that. It's all right.
It's okay.
Like there's a few things that I like about it, but they're leaning very heavily on the
queerbaity stuff, and it's driving me crazy.
I mean, I don't know about that because I haven't seen enough of it to see that, but for me, it's not paced very well. I know it's like a 25-minute, 20-minute animated movie, but for me, it's not paced very well. But that's another thing. And then we've got Huntress, played by Mary Elizabeth Winstead. Great actor, great character, doesn't get enough development, and I look forward to seeing more of her. That's what I will say about her. Johnny Smollett-Bell as Dinah Lance / Bat Canary. She's fucking awesome.
Best live action Black Canary.
I might be slightly in love with her. You know, we'll see. We'll see.
I mean, I guess really you could say only live action Black Canary.
Aside from the TV show. That's...
Oh no, I mean, like, even the bird, like, other than like, not a single one of them is Black Canary. Not a single one of them on the CW is Black Canary. Yeah. And they're all getting their own show. They're all getting a show together. It's called the Canary Show. It's gonna suck. And
really?
Yeah. Yep. Yeah.
Wow. Words cannot express how little I care.
Yeah, it's like I didn't even hear about this until like last week.
Here's an idea. Okay, so Cito, if you really want to make another show featuring a female-centric cast, great. Okay, great. Pick a character that we haven't seen already.
The Birds of Prey TV show that lasted a season that is garbage, and it's on DC Universe, and I've been slowly making my way through it because it's like fun garbage. But her name is Dinah Lance. Her mother was Black Canary. Her mother had screeching powers, but for some reason, she has psychic powers.
What? Why?
I don't know.
And the other one is Barbara Gordon, right?
Yeah, I mean, like, Barbara Gordon is also in there, and also Helena Wayne, which that was one of my actually biggest grievances with this movie going into it, was that there was, like, Barbara Gordon as Oracle started this team.
Yeah.
She started the Birds of Prey, and in fact, she became Oracle in a Suicide Squad comic, of all things. And so it kind of, it sucks, like, that
you couldn't
we could have had a very cool disabled character as one of the leads in this movie, and we didn't. But I understand why they didn't, because they probably can't really talk about Barbara Gordon until the Batgirl movie is settled.
Do you know what I would have? I would just have, like, maybe one of the characters interacts with the computer and gets hints about what's going on through the computer, and it's just represented by a little icon that looks like the Oracle face sort of thing from the comics.
Right. Well, they can't even do that because we don't know the status of Barbara Gordon in this universe, whether or not she's Batgirl or she's Oracle. And until that movie, we won't know the status of her. And I have a feeling that she's just going to be Batgirl, which is a little bit disappointing, because it would have been cool. Like, it would have been cool to have a Wonder Woman-esque movie where it's mostly a flashback, where she is reminiscing. Like, the whole movie is pretty much her explaining how she was Batgirl. Like, this is what she did as Batgirl. This is her life as Batgirl. And it was essentially Batgirl Year One, which is a great comic. And now she's Oracle. And she's, like, telling this to maybe Stephanie Brown, who's becoming Batgirl again.
And she's wearing the Burnside costume.
And Stephanie's wearing the Burnside costume. Cause
I've been reading that. Great. I like it.
It's a great costume. It's a great series.
Yeah. And so we got that. Then we got Rosie Perez as Renee Montoya. She's great. Lesser known character for me, but looking forward to seeing more of her. Chris Messina as Victor Zsasz. We talked about him a bunch. He's brilliant. The person who plays Cassandra Cain is Ella J. Basco.
Yeah, she's good.
She's very good in this movie.
I think really as an actress, I think she's maybe the weakest link. But that's that's like, the bar is so high. It's hard to, like, say that the bar is low at all. So
yeah. We also got Ali Wong as the character's name is Ellen Yi. It's cool to have. You know what I like about this character is that she's not 100% a comedic character. Yeah. Ali Wong is mainly known for her stand-up. She did that.
Yeah, she's a comedian, and she does this pretty serious role. And I mean, it's not like a big role, but it's a pretty serious role, and very just like super cash that she and Renee are lesbians.
Yeah, it's explicit, it's stated, but they don't go on about it. They don't make a big deal of it. They're not patting themselves on the back, a bit like the Russo brothers did in that
it wasn't
one
in
scene.
Like fucking any of the promotional material. It wasn't like, this movie is gonna have DC's first gays, and it did. It had DC's first, like, gay characters in a movie, and just no mention of it. Just like, no, it happened.
They didn't give themselves GLAAD awards about it. They just did it, you know? And rounding out the cast was Ewan McGregor as Roman Sionis, the Batman. I wasn't sure what to make about Ewan McGregor being cast for this, because he's a very good actor, but I don't remember, actually, him doing any explicitly villainous roles. He's done, like, morally grey characters in the past, but I don't remember him being, like, an actual antagonist. And here he is being an antagonist and being a fucking great one at that. And he's
had a long career, and he's probably played an American in other movies. But I feel like this is the first movie I've ever seen him in where he's an American, and he does slip a few times. There's a few times where Roman doesn't sound American.
Hey, you know what? You, as an American, are in no position to criticize an British person for doing a poor American accent when the ratio is so vastly skewed.
I mean, there's people, back and forth who do it. I think there's another movie that we reviewed that, like, I can't remember who it was, but there's, like, some woman just could not keep her American accent at all, and I can't remember who that was.
What did she look like?
I don't even remember. It was, like, some movie that we reviewed together, and I cannot For the life of me, remember. I mean, it must have been a DC movie, right? So
We've done so many of them.
right.
But Ewan McGregor, and also Ewan McGregor is very good at this because, as we said, he's a really likable guy, and it's one thing to be a likable guy and play a likable character. It's another thing to be a likable guy and play an absolutely hateful character. He's like a grown-up Joffrey.
Yeah.
So that's his thing. Great director, great writer, great cast. It's got all this positive reception, 80% of Rotten Tomatoes, which is nothing to be sniffed at. Mm-hmm. And it's not doing as well as it could do at the box office.
So that actually has been turned around in literally a day. It just passed 81.3 million, which is its entire budget.
Oh, so it's broken even.
It's broken even, which is pretty damn good for an R-rated, low budget movie that DC didn't.
Yeah. Yes, but here's the thing: studios don't want to break even; they want to make a profit on things.
Right, that's fair. But I think I don't think this movie needs to do gangbusters. It's not Deadpool.
We do if we want to get more stuff like it.
I would just fucking go see it.
Yeah. Oh, God. And I don't know how... Here's the thing. There's lots of factors that may go into that. Some might say it's people being wary of DCEU movies, which is fair enough, but less so with each good one they make. Some people...
Right. It's I feel like with the momentum they've had from Shazam, I feel like this movie should not be doing it. Maybe Shazam because it's a kid's movie.
Maybe, and this is R-rated, so fair enough. And some people might say blame it on sexism, a la the Ghostbusters reboot, which is fair enough.
Yeah. If we had Wonder Woman come out when it was supposed to, which was last December, I think we would have had the momentum going into this movie. But we didn't, and now it's reverse momentum where we have this movie and then a PG-13 female-led movie, which this movie is the first and I think only for a bit until Thor female-led superhero movie that isn't a period piece.
Oh, that's blimey. And one other thing I've noticed as well is some people have been blaming it, internationally speaking, on the outbreak of the coronavirus.
That's fair. People don't want to go outside. People don't want to go see a movie when they're worried that they might die. So, I mean, that's the reason why I didn't see The Joker.
I have you know that a total of 4 people have gotten the coronavirus here in the UK, and I went out, so, I'm brave. I'm a brave boy.
It has a death rate of 2%. Meanwhile, the flu every single year has a death rate of 25.
Heart disease.
So,
I mean, I'm not. I don't want to diminish paranoid. The tragedy of a person dying from coronavirus, but at the same time, let's try and keep it in perspective. Stay safe, be healthy, and don't wear a face mask because that's stupid and pointless. Just wash your hands. Just maybe.
I mean, wear a face mask if you want to. But
that's just psychological. It doesn't do anything. Worst case scenario.
Yeah, it does. It stops you. It can get it. That's why people wear them is because either they're sick and they don't want to pass it on to other people, or they're worried they will get sick and they don't get sick because it filters out the gunk. Surgical masks do actually work.
Not in this scenario. In a surgical operating theatre, that works. But on this sort of thing, not really. I don't know. I'm not a doctor. At least not until, I gain my PhD in horribleness. But anyway. And so, that's it. That's the annoying thing about the whole... it's good that it's broken even, but I'm worried that this brilliant, exciting, fun, engaging... completely and utterly unproblematic movie is gonna go over a whimper rather than a bang.
Yeah, I mean, money-wise, Spider-Verse did not do great as well. They broke even, and we're still getting a Spider-Verse sequel, and it won an Oscar. I don't think this movie is gonna win an Oscar, but I do think that it might have that same kind of cult following of people being like, you have to fucking go see this movie. And it'll have a surge maybe next weekend in, kind of word of mouth. And it'll have the same kind of push behind it that Into the Spider-Verse had. Of people, it didn't make a lot of money, but people still really, 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 really liked it.
Yeah, I know I did. I really enjoyed it. And I was so worried that I wouldn't, but I did. And it was fun. It introduced me to new characters, fixed flaws in older characters, And it's just a good, fun time. I really enjoyed it. And honestly, Capers, I needed a fun movie in my life right now. And DC, of all people, gave that to me.
I care about 3 movies this year. It was this one, Wonder Woman 84, and Spiral, which is the Saw movie coming out in May with Chris Rock and Samuel Jackson.
Wait, what?
Yeah, Chris Rock is doing a Saw movie where he's starring in it. He produced it, and he's starring in it, and Samuel Jackson is also starring in it.
Well, I mean, of course he is, because Samuel L. Jackson is starring in everything, but Chris Rock?
Right. Yeah, Chris Rock is like... I Saw as a franchise is so utterly absurd. It's my favorite horror franchise, and it's so bad. I adore it. And there's always a cop plot and a trap plot. There's always like cops trying to figure out what's going on, and someone who's going through a Saw trap and like saving people or attempting to save people. I think that Samuel Jackson is the lead of the trap plot. And I'm really excited about that because in the trailer he says, "You want to play a game, motherfucker?" And I'm like, "Yeah."
Donald Glover didn't get out of these movies, but I'm gonna.
Danny Glover.
God damn it.
The first movie had Danny Glover and Carrie Elwes.
Carrie Elwes was also in the last main of the movies. She's in Saw 3D.
Yeah,
the bad
and
one. It's the worst
didn't one of the directors of the Saw movies go on to do Shazam?
No, he did Aquaman.
Oh right, whoops, sorry.
Lee Winnell wrote it,
and he writes a lot of work. He's writing Invisible Man that comes out.
Oh, that looks interesting.
Yeah, and I can never remember his name, but the director of Aquaman, he also does all the Conjuring movies.
It's not. Is it Justin Lin? It's not Justin Lin.
No, it's not Justin Lin. We did this last time where you said it was Justin Lin.
Fuck it.
It's J something. Oh man.
I can't remember.
James Wan.
James Wan. That's it.
It's always a J. We always get it mixed up with other J directors.
God damn it. Okay, so. Honestly, Capers, there's not really much more we can talk about. It has the Podcaper seal of approval in it. It comes from a non-fan such as myself is not that familiar with it, and an uber fan like Alex, both saying, this is good, this is fun. So go out and support this movie if you can. It's really important. That's assuming, of course, if you live in the UK, and right now there's a bit of a storm just hit us, so
yeah, be careful.
Be safe. It was hailing over here earlier.
Yeah, and your country's so tiny that it's like the whole country.
Yeah, it hit everyone. It was hitting London. Edinburgh is going to get like huge snowfall now. And
you say the U.S. had a storm. It's like fucking where? There's a snowstorm in Montana, but there's California's on fire. Like.
At this point, Alex, I would like to apologize for all the jokes I made on your behalf about those Miami tornadoes hurricane thing that happened a while back, because we just got a slight bit of rain and just enough wind to tear a few branches off a few trees over here, and we were all fucking scared for our lives. The fucking electric went out!
There really wasn't... We didn't even have that. Like, power didn't even go out here. It just flooded a little bit. And everything's a high-rise here, so it's, like, not that big of a deal.
My parents live in a bungalow.
Yeah, it's a lot worse in like suburban areas. We had an earthquake recently. I didn't feel it. No one felt it.
It's not a competition, Alex. God
I know.
damn.
I'm just trying to think of like things that happened in Miami that's like just. I mean, it really like there was a 7.2 magnitude off the coast of Jamaica, and it supposedly also was felt in Miami, and it didn't. It's like people evacuated buildings in this neighborhood. I'm like, really? Because I didn't feel shit.
The world is coming apart at the seams, apart at the seams, apart at the seams. And on that note, Capers, we're going to end the show. Thank you very much, Alex, for joining me today.
Yeah, no problem. This was great. I love talking about this
and
movie.
if you... It's a lot of fun. And if you enjoy the show, Capers, please tell your friends, shout it from the rooftops! And if you haven't already, go back and listen to some of our other super episodes, like all the other DC movies that Alex and I have talked about over the years. Our epic struggle continues. And you can listen to the show on iTunes, Podbean, YouTube, Spotify, or Podcapers.com. If you want to get in touch with us, suggest show topics, or maybe come on the show yourself, you can find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at AP2HYC, or email us at podcapers@ap2hyc.com. Thank you very much to Dana Harris for our logo, the lovely microphone, the red and blue 3D glasses, those are mine, and thank you for listening. This has been Podcapers, the official podcast of a place to hang your cape. Cue the music!